I've got something to say to you, Connie. Why is it just about the only thing you're good for around here is doing housework, and yet you can't even cook a decent meal? Why on earth do I even allow the privilege of living in this house? There is absolutely no redeeming qualities to you at all. I was just talking to Ashley about you, and I was so relieved to see that we were both on the same page about you. We had such a great time telling each other all the things we hate the most about you. There you are, Talia. Thank goodness, I've been waiting to hear from you for hours. You said that you were going to eat dinner at the house tonight, so I got everything ready for you, but once the sun went down and I hadn't heard from you, I was starting to get really worried. Jonas told me that he was texting you too. Haven't you been checking your phone? Oh, for the love of Pete, Connie. Why are you getting so worked up over me setting down my phone for a few hours? My plans changed. My dear Ashley came home for the first time in forever. I was so happy. I told her that we needed to go out to dinner some night to celebrate, and she said she was thinking the same thing. So, since we were both so into the idea, we decided to go out tonight. Isn't that something? We always see eye to eye on everything. It's so wonderful to have a connection with my daughter. My real daughter, that is. You and I are like polar opposites. It's been so hard for me to deal with you being in the house all the time. Lately, I've been feeling like I need to get a break from you. I see. Well, I'm glad that you and Ashley had a good time together. But I wish you could have shot me a text to let me know. You asked me to make dinner, so I planned on having it ready around the time you usually come home. There it is again. You just can't help yourself, can you? I have done my very best to put up with you, but I simply can't do it any longer. That is what I hate about you, Connie. I'm not sure what you mean. Why do you insist on making snide remarks at me every single chance that you get? Is that how your parents raised you, to be such an overbearing scold? I'll bet that's where you got it. No matter what happens, you always have to be in the right. You always have to be the victim. You never put 1 ounce of thought toward my plans or my needs. You just keep pushing your own opinions and ideals onto everyone else. I am so sick and tired of that attitude of yours. That wasn't my intention at all, Talia. In fact, I went out of my way to make dinner line up with your schedule, just like I do every day. I understand that circumstances can change, but in that event, I really wish you would send me a simple text to let me know. That's all I'm saying. You really don't understand what your position is, do you? I'm not sure I know what you're referring to. I deigned to allow you to marry my son, and now, out of the kindness of my heart, I'm allowing you to live in my house with me. Ashley told me a lot of things about you tonight, and it all makes perfect sense to me now. I don't need to be concerned about your feelings whatsoever. You're nothing but my lowly daughter-in-law, and you do not have the right to talk to me like you are. Oh, great. Look, I have no idea what sort of nonsense Ashley was saying to you tonight, but if I'm being completely honest, you never really seemed like you care about my feelings in the first place. And still you're talking back to me like a snotty teenager. Oh, and don't think I haven't noticed that your cooking has gotten worse over time. What have you been doing to your cooking, Have you been adding anything to it? Maybe poison? No, I have not been poisoning you. I was never very good at cooking. It's one of my least favorite things to do. I told you all about that before, didn't I? But in spite of that, I decided that I should do whatever I could to help support the family, so I cook dinner for everyone every day. Don't lie to me. Ever since Ashley's been staying with us, your food definitely tastes worse. Not that your cooking was ever good, but it's far worse than usual lately. You say you're not poisoning me, and we'll assume you're telling the truth for now. But that just means that you're doing it to make Ashley unhappy. That's not what I'm doing at all. I wish I knew what was going on. I'm tasting the food as I cook, and it always seems fine up until I serve it. Your food is always either too spicy, too sweet, or too salty. You never get a good flavor balance. I've been baffled by your inability to properly fold a shirt, sweep the floor, or do any other mundane task up until now. But thanks to Ashley, I know exactly what you're doing. You're doing it on purpose to bother me. Please understand, both Jonas and I have our own jobs. We decided before we got married that we would split up the household duties 50-50. Yes, I told that to Ashley too, and she agrees with me. That's absolutely scandalous. Housework is a woman's responsibility. That's the way it's always been, and that's the way it always will be. What about your husband, though? He helps out an awful lot with the housework, doesn't he? He's different. He actually enjoys doing housework. Cooking also happens to be a hobby of his. I suppose he's been rather busy lately, so he only ever cooks on the weekends. And even though you were gifted with a father-in-law who, for God knows what reason, enjoys doing the housework, you still do nothing but complain about everything. I would say that's a bit of an overstatement. Speaking of overstate, I think you've overstayed your welcome. How long are you planning on living with us anyway? Why do you ask? Because there are no benefits whatsoever to having you in the house. My real daughter is coming to stay with us, so I can help her take care of the baby after she gives birth. That means you need to get out. Clear all your things out of your room immediately. I'm giving her your room. What's wrong with the guest room she's sleeping in right now? It's far too small. All the bedrooms other than the master bedroom are the same size. Well, then it feels too small. In any case, you're moving out as soon as possible. Is this all coming from Ashley, too? Of course it isn't. I've been wanting to have you out of my sight for as long as you've been living with us. And honestly, how thick can you possibly be? I was sure you would take the hint that you're neither wanted nor needed once Ashley came to stay with us. You continue to surprise me, Connie, and never in a good way. I see. Sorry to disappoint you. Spare me your apologies and get packing. I want you completely gone from my house by the time I get back. Do I make myself clear? That means you have just a few hours left, so do hurry. You're kicking me out tonight? Would you like me to refer you to some nice homeless shelters in the area? I'll pass. Talia, are you really sure you want to do this? Am I sure? I've never been more sure of anything in my life. All you do in the house is get in the way of my happiness. You'll have to find someone else who's willing to put up with you. Or if you can't, you'll just have to find yourself a nice cardboard box to live in. All right then. I'll be leaving. And taking the $5,000 per month I put in toward our living expenses with me. I wish you all the best of luck making ends meet without me. Are you serious? We'll be doing just fine without your dead weight. Remember, you have until midnight tonight to get out. And make sure you leave a clean room when you go. As you wish. What on earth? What did you do, Connie? All our furniture, appliances, the TV, the microwave, the beds, everything is gone. What did you do with all of our things, you little thief? You asked me to take all my stuff out of the house, so I did. Did I not leave it clean enough for you? Don't get smart with me. Did you think you would be able to just get away with stealing all of my things? Bring it all back immediately, or else I'm calling the police. That won't do you any good. And why not? I'm just saying I don't think the police are going to be able to make me give you guys all of my stuff. Seeing as though, it's mine. What do you mean? I mean just what I said. Every single piece of furniture, appliance, and every other electronic device was bought by Jonas and I. We've just been letting you use them free of charge. And you told me to take my stuff and leave, so I did. What's the problem? Did you forget what it was like in there when we moved in? The newest thing you had was a TV from 20 years ago. Half of the other stuff was broken, so we bought an entire new set of household essentials for you. You did? I don't remember that. Well, it's the truth. I can show you the receipts if you want. But what is Jonas going to do now? How is he going to live here like this? There's not even any beds for him to sleep on. Are you fine with forcing your husband to sleep on the floor? What are you talking about? Jonas is my husband and he's on my side. We're both moving out together. So you don't need to worry about him. He'll be sleeping perfectly comfortably. What? But that's ridiculous. He doesn't need to move out, just you. His sister's going to give birth in a matter of weeks. He should be here by her side. Jonas and Ashley never had a particularly close sibling relationship. Then, after seeing what you and Ashley were doing and saying to me, he had enough. He said that if you guys were going to kick me out, then he was going to go with me. This can't be happening. What did you tell him? You must have told him a pack of awful lies to get him to do this to me. I didn't need to tell him anything. He's always told me that he's basically lived his entire life by looking at you and doing everything in the exact opposite way. That's why he's become such a good man. I was kind of confused when he first told me about that, but now that I've met you, it all makes total sense. I told you earlier today, Connie, you are my daughter-in-law, and I will not allow you to speak to me like that. Just like I won't allow you to steal my things. Bring it all back this instant. I already told you it's all mine, so that's not going to happen. Not to mention, I'm the one who's been paying for practically everything around here to the tune of $5,000 per month. So, if we're talking about what's mine and yours, I'll probably put enough money into that house to buy it outright. What? What do you mean? We've already been through this. I told you that I was leaving and taking the $5,000 I put into our expenses every month with me, didn't I? I meant every word of that. It would be nice to get a thank you for all I've done for you up until now, but I'm not holding my breath. You mean you were telling the truth? Let me put it to you this way. You're free to believe what I said or not. But at the end of the month, when all the bills come due, you're going to find out the hard way. And additionally, you spend most of your days God knows where doing God knows what. So I'm the one who's been doing nearly all of the housework for you. You're in for a very, very rude awakening now that I'm gone. Don't act like such a martyr for doing a few chores every now and then. I am a far more capable homemaker than you. I won't have any trouble at all. Not to mention I have my husband here to help me, and if you really were spending $5,000 a month, all I can say is you must have terrible spending habits. I'll be able to make do with much less. For your sake, I sure hope that's true. For my part, I've told you nothing but the truth tonight and done exactly what you told me to do. If you don't like it, that's your problem, not mine. You really are a nasty little woman, aren't you? I have no idea why my fine, upstanding son saw fit to marry a lowly woman such as yourself. If you cared about him at all, you'd divorce him and set him free. Again, we've been through this. Jonas is on my side. He's not going to divorce me just because you threw a temper tantrum. He's not going to divorce me at all, actually. We're in this for life. That's it. I can't talk to you anymore. I don't want to see your face or hear your voice anymore. Now that you're out of my house, I am going to be happier than I ever dreamed possible. And I won't have you coming around to mess it all up again, so I think I'll go ahead and block your number right now. Go right ahead. Goodbye, Talia.
Hey, Connie? I'm really sorry about yesterday. Things got pretty hectic. We really had to rush to get everything out the door before my mom got back. My legs and back are still tired from moving all that furniture, and I'll bet you're just as tired. But hey, I still see this as an overall positive for us. Thanks to my mom going crazy last night, I finally have the best excuse I could ask for to cut her out of my life. From now on, we'll be able to have a nice, peaceful, quiet life with just the two of us. One thing that concerned me, though, I was talking to my dad this morning. He told me that Mom was up way past midnight texting you. Is that right? He said her face was beet red and all scrunched up like she was super angry. She was probably getting on your case about everything. Was everything all right?
Yeah, she was not happy, to say the least. But yeah, I was fine. Thanks for asking, Jonas. You were so tired from moving that you had already fallen asleep by the time she started texting me. I figured there was no point in waking you up to tell you about it. We could just talk about it in the morning. And yeah, so you were right on target. She texted me complaining about all the stuff in the house being gone.
Yep, there's not much else that she would be talking to you about. But what I was really wanting to ask was, are you okay? Like, how are you doing with everything? It must be a lot to take in over such a short period of time.
Yeah, it is a bit much, but I'm less worried about myself and more worried about your dad. I feel really guilty for leaving him behind like that. I mean, your dad has always been incredibly kind and generous to me. I never had any problem with him. But he still had to just stand by and watch as we took all of our stuff and left. That couldn't have been a very pleasant experience for him. I'm worried that I was so angry at your mom that I went and did something to hurt your dad, which I never wanted to do.
Yeah, I get what you mean. I appreciate the fact that you're so concerned about my dad. For his part, he gave me his blessing to leave the house. He said that we didn't need to worry about him all that he wanted was for us to enjoy our married life together.
That sounds just like your dad.
That's what he said anyway, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be really hard for him to deal with living in that house from now on. Not only are we leaving, but Ashley's moving in, and she's gonna be there for a while. That is not gonna be easy for him to deal with.
Yeah, I'll bet. Oh, hold on a second. I just got another text. Jonas!
Huh? What is it?
Great news! Like, the best possible news I could have gotten. We don't have to worry about your dad any longer. With this, he's finally going to be free.
Wait a minute. Do you mean you got the report already? No way! I never thought he would finish this quickly.
I'm just as surprised as you are, but he said he has everything we need. I still haven't read all of the fine details, but from what he's saying, I think this might be even bigger than we were imagining. We'll talk about that later in person, okay? The important thing right now is that we'll be able to make our move tomorrow. Today started on kind of a negative note, but now things are really looking up. Jonas, what is the meaning of this? We had a special delivery come to the house, which I thought was odd because I haven't ordered anything. But then your father said it was for him, and you would not believe what is happening right now. And imagine my shock when I found out that you were apparently in on the whole thing. It's all that awful Connie's fault, isn't it? You changed ever since you married her. She's completely corrupted your good heart with her evil lies. But it's not too late for you. I can still save you. You need to divorce that woman at once and come back home. Please, your family needs you. I need you.
Mom, how long are you gonna keep doing this? Even when you've been caught red-handed, you're still gonna try and claim that it's everyone else's fault but your own? You're the one who's in the wrong here. That's plain for anyone to see. This is all happening because you were thinking of yourself without any consideration for Dad or his feelings. It gives me no pleasure to be saying this, but after seeing what I've seen, I'm frankly embarrassed to be your son.
Jonas, no. I didn't raise you to be the kind of boy who talks to his own mother that way. What happened to you? Don't you understand what this means? Your father's going to divorce me at this rate. Is that what you want to happen?
It doesn't seem like it matters what I want to happen or not. Dad's gonna do what he needs to do. It's not my place to try and influence him one way or another. But regardless of his decision, you have only yourself to blame, Mom. And it's not like I'm a little kid anymore. I'm old enough to be able to handle my parents breaking up. But if you're asking me for my opinion, I think it's definitely in Dad's best interests for him to divorce you as soon as possible. He's worked so hard to support you over the years. He's been everything that you could have asked for in a husband. And this is how you repay him? By betraying his trust in such a cruel, disgusting way? You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Please, Jonas, you have to understand. I made a mistake. That's all this is. Ever since your father and I got married, all I've been is a housewife. And when you're a housewife, you have quite a bit of free time. And your father's a hard worker, yes, but you know what that means. It means that he's away at work for most of the day. So there I was, my housework all done for the day, nothing interesting on TV, and no husband to keep me company. I got lonely. And so I did what any normal person would do. I went out and found someone to keep me company.
Oh, give me a break. Is that really your excuse? Well, if you think I'm gonna buy that excuse for 1 second, you got another think coming. Yeah, Dad worked long hours in order to support you, by the way. But ever since we moved in with you guys, you've barely done anything around the house. You just shoved all the work onto Connie. So that's why you had so much free time, because you stopped doing housework, which was your only job. And you think having extra free time justifies finding someone to keep you company practically every day of the week?
What was I supposed to do? Talk to Connie? Oh, she hates me.
I think your behavior toward her has a lot to do with that, don't you? And besides, you could have, gone to a bridge club or taken up a hobby. Anything but have an affair with Ashley's ex-boyfriend's father. God, just the thought of the two of you together makes me want to puke.
Please don't talk that way about us. After all, he's the father of the man that Ashley fell in love with. It's only natural that we would have a connection. And when you think about it, Ashley isn't entirely innocent in all of this either.
Look, I have no interest in getting any more involved in my parents' relationship than I already am. Frankly, you shouldn't want me to get involved here. The only concerned parties are you, Dad, Ashley, her ex-boyfriend, and his father, your boyfriend. I only have 2 more things to say on this matter, and then I'm done. First off, don't you dare do anything to humiliate Dad any more than you already have. And second, don't you dare drag my wife into your mess any more than you already have. Those are not suggestions, those are not requests, they are demands. And if you violate either of them, I swear to you, as God is my witness, I will destroy you.
Connie, can we talk? I wanted an opportunity to apologize for my actions the other day. I'm terribly sorry for everything I've done to you. So please, can't you help me? There's no one else I can ask but you. My son is furious with me.
And what makes you think I'm any less angry at you than he is? Seriously, I told you to never contact me again. What did you expect would happen if you came to me begging for help?
You're partially responsible for this, too. My husband told me that you were the one who suggested he hire a private detective to follow me around. You knew about all of this, didn't you?
Yeah, I did actually. Your husband came to me a while back saying that he wanted to talk about you. He had noticed certain changes in your behavior and was suspicious from the start. All I did was tell him that my woman's intuition told me that something was definitely up with you. But all we had were our suspicions. We didn't have any evidence of what you were doing. So we decided that we should have you checked out to see if our suspicions were correct, and that's when I decided to talk to a private detective.
I knew it. You were the one responsible for all of this. You should have kept your mouth shut. This was a matter between me and my husband. It didn't concern you.
Ah, yes, the tried and true last resort of people with nothing else to say in their own defense.
You shouldn't have noticed the bad things I'm doing.
Well, newsflash, Talia, you and Ashley shouldn't have been doing those bad things in the first place. If you don't do anything bad, there wouldn't be anything for me to notice. And can you really fault me for noticing? You two practically weren't even trying to hide what you were doing.
What? What are you talking about?
Remember the other night when you went out to dinner with Ashley but didn't tell me? You know that night you accused me of being insensitive for having your dinner ready at the time you usually get home? It wasn't just you and Ashley at the dinner that night, was it? No, there were 4 people sitting at the table that evening. You and Ashley were there, of course, along with her ex-boyfriend and his father. I'll bet you were talking about all sorts of scandalous, salacious things that night, weren't you?
No. How did you know about that?
Have you been paying attention? We hired a private detective. He told us everything. I guess the 2 of you were all over each other whenever Ashley and her ex-boyfriend stepped away from the table. Seriously, you're almost old enough to have teenage grandchildren, and yet there you are acting like a couple of love-struck teenagers. But what in God's name was Ashley thinking? Meeting in secret with her ex-boyfriend while she's getting ready to give birth? I don't think her husband would be very happy to hear about that.
Okay, fine, you're right. We both did some slightly inappropriate things that night. But enough about the past. I am worried about my future. All I want right now is to enjoy my life with my husband, Ashley, and her baby. I never wanted this to happen. If my husband really divorces me, then what am I supposed to do? How will I get by without him?
That's your problem, not mine. Whatever the consequences of your actions are, you brought it all upon yourself. If you end up losing everything, then I can only say it's because you deserve to lose everything. I don't think you have any right to object after what you've done.
I know that I've messed up. I already apologized for kicking you out of the house, and now I'm inviting you to come back and live with us. We can start over, be a family again. Wouldn't that be the best outcome for everyone? We can all forget our differences and move forward together.
Be a family again? What do you mean again? You never treated me like family in the first place. And I never felt very much like you were family either. And it's like I said earlier, why in the world are you coming to me for help? It's painfully obvious that the only reason you're trying to pull the family card on me is because you're terrified of what's coming to you. Seriously, you're like an evil mother-in-law from a soap opera. I don't want to hear any talk about family from the likes of you. You've hurt the people around you far too much to be forgiven anymore. All that's left for you to do now is realize the weight of your sins and suffer the consequences. With an emphasis on the suffering part, that is. My father-in-law immediately filed for divorce after we got the report from the private detective. Given the length of her affair and the fact that she was seeing her boyfriend while her husband was working to support her, she received absolutely nothing in the divorce, no alimony, no property. She was kicked out of her husband's house and onto the street. I would be lying if I say that I didn't take some pleasure in that. I mean, the woman who tried to kick me out onto the street, getting her comeuppance in the most ironic way possible, that's just too good to be true. Talia didn't give up on begging me for help, though, and asked if I would be willing to take both her and Ashley into our home. When Jonas found out about that, he went berserk. He didn't mince words with the two of them. He told them that he would destroy them if they ever tried to drag me into their nonsense again. He filed for restraining orders against the both of them, which were granted without issue. But that wasn't quite enough. He was especially angry at his sister, since she's the one who introduced Talia to her ex-boyfriend's father. And she was also the driving force behind Talia kicking us out of their house. So he did the one thing that Ashley wanted to avoid at all costs. He told her husband about everything. Ashley's husband put her on final notice. If she ever met with Talia or her ex-boyfriend again, he would divorce her on the spot. Not wanting to lose her husband like Talia did, Ashley adhered to his demands and blocked Talia's number. It seems like Talia's dream of holding her grandchild in her arms will never come true. As for me, I owe a debt of gratitude to Jonas for how he stood up to his own mother for me. My goal for the future is to be a wife deserving of his love and respect. Joanna, I have something that I'd like to ask you. I'm sure you're doing okay now, right? It's been such a long time since the last time we both chatted. Bridget, what do you want? What? How cold of you. Your own little sister is the one contacting you right now out of kindness. So why are you responding to me in such a cold and uncaring tone? Hey, who are you trying to act as, contacting me like this after so long? Who am I trying to act as? A beautiful woman, of course. I'm sorry that I became so much more beautiful than you ever did. This is so sad. You get what this means, right? I wasn't talking about that at all. Bridget, did you forget what happened 2 years ago between you and I? What? Was there something bad that happened back then? You frickin' ran over my son while you were drunk driving. Since then, my son hasn't been able to frickin' walk. And even now, he's having to use a wheelchair to get around, all because his awful aunt ran him over. What? He's still not walking? Isn't that a little bit, a pain in the butt? Huh? What the hell did you just say? If he just gave a little bit more effort, I'm sure he'd be just fine and healed right now. I think you're just spoiling your boy a bit too much there. Is it because you're his mother that you treat him like he's done nothing wrong? Are you actually saying that about us right now? I have not forgotten a single thing about what happened on that day, Bridget. So you have no right talking about my little boy like that. Come on now, he's still alive, so what's actually the problem here? He never ended up having to fight for his life or anything, right? You're just over-exaggerating is all now, since he ended up all right. And you said that exact same crap back when I was trying to take you down after what you did. When are you going to grow up and confess for your crimes? Hold on, it wasn't even me back then. Even though you were the only other person in the yard at the time. Who else could it have been that stumbled out of their car drunk after running my son over? God, you're really getting on my nerves now. You really want me to apologize to you that badly for what happened then? You think that me saying I'm sorry for all of that is going to fix your son's bent legs? Don't you think you're being a little too irrational here? Well, if you're not going to say or do anything worth my time, don't ever talk to me again. Oh, that's right. That's what I wanted to say. The main point of my talking with you this time, all right? It has nothing to do with your son and him being a cripple still. I wanted to talk with you about how I want one of your kidneys. Since I'm your cute little sister, you're going to donate one of your kidneys to me, right? Huh? Don't you get that something like that will never, ever happen? Now, goodbye forever. What? Hold on a second, Joanna. Can't you see you're being a little bit too closed off from me with your answer there? Are you not even going to ask for my reason why I need the kidney? I really don't care about you, Bridget. And if you end up dying because of whatever illness you have now, I might just go and celebrate with some of my friends. You also don't have anything to do with my son anymore, so none of what happens with you will affect us any. What? You're really saying things like that about me now? All that happened with your son is his legs went all whack is all right? Right now I'm sick with something that's literally going to kill me. And so what? You don't like the fact that what you gave is being given right back to you now? A person like you who doesn't even feel sorry about the fact that you took a little boy's ability to walk away from him means that nobody should care about you dying over some illness. You are the worst kind of scum, and scum like you deserves to go to hell. Perhaps this is your punishment for what you've done. Don't say things like that to me. You're the only person I can ask for help now, Joanna. So could you please give me one of your kidneys to help save my life? Huh? I already told you no and said all of those things with the purpose of getting my point across to you. So you really are the same stubborn old bitch that you'd always been, huh? What the hell do you want me to do in order to make you happy? If I go ahead and apologize to you, will you then give me a kidney? Well, the best you can do is give apologizing to me a try and see what happens. Because up until now, I have still not received any form of apology from you. What? What a frickin' pain. So in the end, all you've really wanted was an apology from me, huh? Confess to what you've done and apologize for it. I'm asking you to do the bare minimum for me here, as a human being should be able to do. Jesus, all right already. I'll confess what I've done to him. I'm sorry for running over your son. So now, could you please just forget about me hitting him that day and putting him in his wheelchair for life? So are you confessing to the fact that you did run over my son? Yes. I'm confessing to that right now for you. Now hurry up and hand me one of your kidneys right now. Well, that's it for you now. You're done for. You're done both within this world and done in terms of your own health. I've been prepared to end you this whole time, and you have finally made that very possible for me. What? What the hell are you going on about right now? You're going to give me one of your kidneys soon, right? I never said anything to you about me giving up one of my kidneys. I just said for you to begin by confessing to what you've done and apologizing for it. What the hell is this? Did you just set me up just then? Who the hell do you think set you up here? The reason all of this is having to happen to you now is because of all the crap you pulled 2 years ago. All you had to do was apologize for what you'd done by hitting my son with your car and sending him to the hospital. Yet instead, all you did was act like you'd done nothing wrong at all and never once showed any sympathy to either one of us. You really think that I was going to forgive a pile of crap like you after all of that? But you can just give birth to more sons if you're not happy with the way your current one has turned out. I'm the only little sister you have, and you can't get me back. And to me, you're the only sister that I have. There's nobody else but you that I can rely on for help here. Allow me to say this then. I know about everything that has to do with you. About all the things you'd been doing for the past 3 years. Huh? What are you going on about right now? I know about how you've been having a relationship with my husband. I know all the details about every second of your relationship with him. What? No, wait, what are you actually going on about right now? I really don't have a clue what you mean by all of that. You started to have something with my husband a while back that turned into you both dating behind my back. And then at one point you wanted for my husband to leave me and go marry you instead. But you had no clue how to make that happen until one day you got so close to blackout drunk before getting in your car and driving out to my house of all places where my son and I were playing in the front yard. And it was there that you drove over the curb and right at him in a fit of rage, crushing his legs in an attempt to strike out at me. Correct? All of that. You don't have any evidence to prove it, all right? You really are such a bitch for coming up with such a fantasy as that. It's not a fantasy of mine. I found all of the evidence from that terrible day after spending so much time going through all kinds of camera footage and speaking with plenty of witnesses. And just a second ago, you went ahead and confessed to hitting my son with your car. Which means I am 100% ready to take you to court and sue your ass for what you've done. Hence why I was saying that you are done for now.
I knew that you were tricking me there. You never cared about giving me one of your kidneys from the start. You went and made me confess, all so that you could hurt me in the end, huh? You are the worst for doing something like that to me.
Who do you really think is the worst person here? Having a relationship with your older sister's husband and getting upset with her about not leaving him and taking her son out over it? The reason you came hurling home drunk in that car of yours was because you were out drinking with my husband, right? My husband told me he would be out drinking all day with some men from work, but in reality, he was out getting screwed up with you at a bar.
Shut your mouth right now. What does all of that even matter? You really are so miserable, aren't you, Joanna? Having everything taken away from you by your gorgeous little sister. You already lost your husband to me, and then you almost lost your son as well after I slammed into him with my car going 40. You are quite literally the most miserable person ever.
Yes, and that's why there is nothing you can do now that will stop me.
Joanna, that pretty much means you're going to come after me, trying to ruin my life now, all because yours is hell. Do you even have a clue what you're saying right now?
I'm not listening to anything a killer like you has to say about me. My son never did anything wrong, yet he has to lose his legs because of some emotional and drunk child?
All you had to do was be closer with that husband of yours. Then you could make more children instead of crying about one ending up a little defective. Come on now, your husband was so good looking and was amazing in bed. Go and get back together with him now, and then you can let him get you pregnant again and have that crippled son replaced.
I should have known you'd never be able to understand the kinds of emotions I've been having to deal with since that tragic day. Especially when I consider the fact that you were the one that did all of this to my son and I. And that's the reason why you just assume that my son means nothing to me as well, right? Because how you've lived your life all along is by going around and taking everyone else's things and then throwing them out when you're done with them.
All right. There's no need to go on about all of that now. I'm at fault for all of this, right? That should be enough to make you happy then. I've apologized for what I did, so could you please give me a kidney now, for God's sake?
I've been telling you that it's not happening, right? I'm going to make sure you pay for all the things you did to my son and I, and that's going to start by getting you into that courtroom. So get yourself ready for that. Bryce, I was able to do it. I was able to get my sister to confess to both her crimes and being with my husband. I have the evidence for that right here on my phone now after all that texting between us. We'll finally be able to sue her without question.
Wait, really? So you were contacted by Bridget then? Why would she get in touch with you again after all she'd done to everyone before?
She just started to text me again out of the blue for one reason or another that I don't really care about. But the main thing she kept asking me for was that I give her one of my kidneys. Sounds like she's on her deathbed or something right now. But none of that means anything to me, so I made sure to talk right over all of that.
What? Are you sure she wasn't trying to be a bit more serious about all of that?
Anything that has to do with her is not important to me, okay? I'd been trying to contact her for so long now, but she never once replied to me. However, today she just came out of left field talking to me as though nothing ever happened. I was wondering what that was all about and actually wanted to listen for a bit until she began to speak like she was still this great person that happens to be better than me still and about how I'm this miserable woman. When all of that started, I lost interest in whatever she had to say about wanting my kidney. However, I knew I could use what she was saying to my advantage and get her to confess what she'd done.
Way to go! That was a fantastic move on your part then. Now we have all the evidence we need in order to take her down. Seriously, you did a great job there getting her to confess like that. Great work, Joanna.
Thank you so much, Bryce. I'm sorry, though, for getting you involved in all of this because you're a lawyer. I just want you to know that I really am thankful for everything you've done for me thus far.
Why are you bringing all those feelings up with me now? I never said that I was doing any of this feeling like I needed to be thanked. I was worried about you and your son, and want to make sure that the both of you get the outcomes you deserve. And after all this investigating we've been doing, more and more terrible things have come out about that woman. We both knew that you needed to go and tell your husband about a lot of things you found out about him. But we also knew that if you did, we wouldn't have been able to get the evidence we have now.
It may have been really hard on me, but it was the right choice there. I'm sure all of this has really been stressing you out a bunch. Ever since that high school reunion where our paths crossed again, you've been worried about me. And I thank you for that. This has been hard on everyone involved, but I'm so happy we've been able to figure out all the truths in this mess. And you coming in to help me gather everything in order to take her to court is something I will always thank you for. I'm sure this has been one of your toughest cases, right?
It might be, but this is all a part of my job in the end, right?
I suppose so. Thank you, Bryce. Had I never had you around, I could never have come this far. So thank you.
Now let me be clear about something. After we're finished with all of this, I want you to become happy again. And I mean that. By the way, I have a really good friend in the rehabilitation industry, and we've been talking a lot recently. We talked about your son quite a bit, and he should be able to get him in there to try treating him. So if you have some time here soon, would you like to come with me and go see the facility on a tour with the owner? Your son's a fine young man, and the owner's very interested in helping him out as well. So I know for a fact that they would love to start working on fixing those legs of his.
What? Are you serious? You've been doing all of that for me as well?
My friend and I have known one another for some time now. Consider him the kind of person that loves to have connections, much like I do, which means me asking him about taking your son on was nothing at all for me. And it was the least I could do to help try and get your son back to the way he was 2 years ago. I know it might not be everything he needs, but I really do hope that going there helps.
Thank you, Bryce. I really do appreciate everything you've done for us. Now I won't have to worry as much about finding someplace else to help my son. Now all I need to do is go have that talk with my husband about this. I know that he has a lot of pride in himself, but since I've waited this long and have all the evidence I need now, things shouldn't be as complicated as they were before. I hope.
Yeah, that's right. Things should go pretty easy for you now, and he shouldn't have the ability to get all up in your face about everything anymore. Things will be just fine.
I really hope so. Thank you again, Bryce. Now, let's finish all of this together. There is no way in hell. Why is this all happening when you both are supposed to be getting a divorce now? Why isn't Devin going to choose me now? I will not allow this to happen. I cannot accept this. You just talked through all of this with him a second ago, right? He told you himself why he's not going to choose you. I don't have anything to do with what's been happening between you both, and I'm not about to start hearing about it all now. You understand that, right? You think I want anything to do with a relationship that took place between my little sister and my husband? Even thinking about what's happened makes me sick, and I'd rather die than have to talk with you about it anymore. Devin made his choice to lay his hands on his wife's younger sister. Seriously, I want to vomit right now after having said that. But then, why is he still choosing to be with you? All of that crying and begging that he did there, I don't get it. Isn't he the one that stabbed you in the back before? Yet now he's crying about how he doesn't want to leave you for me. I'm the one that should be crying right now about all of this. Wait, what the hell are you saying? The both of you are the offenders here, right? The only one who should be crying right now is me and my son, considering that he is the number one victim in all this. You guys were the ones that started having that affair behind my back. And then when you started to get really drunk, you began to hate me for having a son with him. That then led to you getting in your car and coming all the way to my house and hitting my son out of spite. You are both the ones that are to blame for what happened then, and you should be both on your hands and knees now apologizing to my son and I. But I have really been in love with Devin all along. I thought that no matter what I did, Devin would always be there to take my side and defend me. But the moment he heard that you knew about all his cheating, why is he turning his back on me like that now of all times? The fact that he was even defending you like that after you almost killed our son makes him a psychopath. Had I never said anything about how I knew he'd been with you, he would still be cussing me out and acting like I was crazy. he would still be going on about how he's too handsome to have just me and that he could get any woman he wanted. Up until now, all of that was seriously disgusting. And like I was saying before, having to think about him has really made me want to vomit. I thought that the day would come where you both got divorced and he'd come marry me. I've been looking forward to that for so long now. Devin was always saying to me that he'd have the divorce take place real soon and for me to sit back and wait a bit longer. That's why I sat by like a good girl and waited for him. A good girl would never sleep with her sister's husband and would never run over her nephew. Well, this has all left me feeling a bit better now. I was able to get all of those things you guys said on tape as well. All I have left to do now is talk with my lawyer and take this to court, so be ready for my lawyer to get in touch with you really soon here. I'm not going to be talking with either one of you anymore on my own from now on. You don't have the right to do something like that to us, right? You don't have to. You still have everything you started out with. You still have your husband's love, and your son is still with you. What else do you want that you don't already have? Money? Do you have any idea how much money it cost for my son to sit in the hospital for 3 months, go through all those operations, and now have to go through rehab nonstop? Sure, my husband has paid a little, but I've been having to take on most of the costs myself. I'm going to make you pay loads for all the damage you've caused, so I hope you're ready for that. Then, at the very least, give me one of your kidneys first. If I don't at least pay you anything, then there's no point in any of this, right? Not going to happen. If I was willing to give up one of my precious organs right now, I'd rather give it up to someone who is an angel at heart and would never do anything like drive under the influence and run over a child. There is also the chance that my son might need a kidney from me in the future, and if I didn't have a spare one to donate to him, then I'd be devastated. I don't have anything to give to a witch like you. Don't say something like that. Your son is still so young, so you don't have to worry about him, right? How about you worry about him when and if something like that happens? I have always thought something as serious as this could happen with my son, though, considering Grandpa had the same problems with his kidneys. There is always the chance that my son never has to have that kind of life-threatening illness, but I can't say there never will be. So I'm keeping my kidneys just in case and won't be wasting them on someone like you. Please don't say things like that. If you don't, then my life... And like I was saying before, I do not care if my choice here leads to you dying, and I'll most likely go out and celebrate it. There's no reason for you to be living anymore anyway after what you did. Having a psycho like you still walking around after having run over a child, taking away his ability to walk, and never feeling any form of remorse after that is far worse for this world than anything else. You don't have to say that kind of crap about me, right? You went and stole my son's freedom from him, and you went and laid your hands on my husband. You went and ruined parts of my life, so you having to go burn in hell for your actions is necessary to me. I want you to go rot away, since that's all you're good for now. Enjoy the hell that you've set yourself up for, and stay there eternally like the rest of your rotten kind.
Congratulations for your son's success. Seeing him walk again like that really makes him a strong little fighter. Having watched him fight so hard like that, I was on the verge of bawling my eyes out every single time. I'm so sorry for sounding so emotional right now about this, but I'm just so proud of the little guy.
Bryce, the fact that you stood there beside the two of us on this long and hard journey makes me appreciate you more than anyone else. Thank you. I'm so happy right now that I can't stop myself from crying over and over again. And seeing the both of us crying over him like this must really make my son know just how much he's loved. Seriously, Bryce, thank you for everything you've done for us.
After all that hard work he put in, he went through all that rehab that was laid out for him and is now able to walk on his own again. I've never been so emotionally open like this in my whole entire life. Seeing your son fight like that has made me cherish my life even more now, and I want to fight harder myself. Being moved by your son like that, thank you guys.
Ever since you got us into that rehabilitation center through your friend and connection, my son's been able to recover so much quicker. Until that happened, he'd always been so down about what happened to him and could never focus on pushing himself harder to overcome the challenge of getting his legs back. It was like he'd used some form of magic in order to walk like he does now, thanks to you, Bryce. You are the man I am most thankful for, thanks to everything you've done for my son and I. Thank you.
Hearing you say all that about me makes me so happy. If I've really become that much of a help to your son, then that only means he'll become even more of a help to me now.
Thank you so much.
Next time, I'd like to invite both you and your son to come out for dinner with me. I'd like for you both to have some really high-class and delicious foods.
Of course. But allow me to be the one inviting you out this time. After all, it was you who did everything for the two of us.
No, allow me to treat the both of you. Because of your son, I have become so much more confident in myself. Also, there is something serious I have to say to you, Joanna, so please, I want you to come out for dinner with your son on me.
What? All right, okay. Then I suppose I'll be really looking forward to this dinner you're taking us to then. My little sister having to go to court and face a trial for what she'd done to my son and I all happened a year ago now. I was able to then divorce my husband, getting both settlements from him and Bridget for what they'd done. And all that money has gone towards paying off my son's medical bill so that he can finish rehab. He's been fighting really hard all year long, and the doctors are finally saying he's ready to end his work there and go back out into the world walking freely again. Bryce has been making time lately to come out and see my son and I more, and seeing him there supporting us even after everything is finished makes me forget all the horrors I had to go through in the past. And ever since he started to come out and see my son more, the relationship we share has grown very close. And we're in talks now about getting married next year. Of course, my son is also a big fan of that, which means all there is left to do is wait for Bryce to propose to me. We're already living in the same house together most of the time as a happy family of 3 that can withstand any sort of problem. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story. Okay, I need to get some things off my chest, and you better listen to me. You need not be so jealous just because I was the one who got married first. And since you're the one with all the jealousy problems, there's really nothing I can do for you as a sister because you should be able to control your feelings. I reckon it's all due with the low level of education that you were given. That's why you can't help but be so envious of me. But it's too late now. Nothing's going to change. What the heck are you even talking about, Destiny? Where on earth did this nonsense come from, huh? What's brought this on all of a sudden? I really don't think that you're understanding how I'm feeling at all, because you never really ask. I think you thinking I'm jealous is a complete misunderstanding on your part. No way is that the case at all. Absolutely not. I know for a fact that you're nothing but jealous of me and what I do in life. You always have been, have you not? You do remember that I am 10 years younger than you, yes? I've already had this plan in place to find a husband and get married to him. Wow, it's crazy that you're denying how you feel. It makes me feel sorry for you. But also feel bad because it seems like no guy is paying you attention because of your age. However I feel and whatever I do to find a man is none of your damn business, Destiny. I get why you might be acting like this because you're about to get married and everything, but don't you think that it's wrong to act so hostile towards me like this? Is all this talk really necessary? You don't know anything about my private life. Even though I don't know anything about your private life, I can probably still imagine it. Your life is probably super boring, yes. You're just a lonely old hag, okay? Like, how old are you now? Think about it. You're already 36 years old, and yet you're not even married? You're a complete loser in life, Kayla. Do you have any idea who I'm marrying? I bet you do know. You know he's a doctor, yeah. He actually is someone who has made something of himself. It's great. Of course I know that you're marrying a doctor, Destiny. I mean, you do remember that I was the one that introduced you to him, yes? That's how you met him in the first place. Yes, and that's what Mom said as well. I guess she was trying to make things up to me so that I'd actually thank you or acknowledge your help. How would someone like you know a doctor? There's absolutely no way that you know a successful doctor. Mom's just saying that to save face. There's no way that I'd believe any of that kind of crap from you. You really seem to be misunderstanding a lot today, Destiny. Neither I or our mom would lie about such a trivial matter like this. I was the one who introduced him to you. Oh, whatever. I don't really care that much. I'm glad that I was such a good student and could have a successful future, unlike you, who wasn't even able to go to college. Okay, you really don't seem to be getting how much has been sacrificed for you, Destiny. Who do you think paid for your college tuition, huh? Would you seriously just stop asking me all of these pointless questions? All you are, Kayla, is a high school dropout. Why must you act so high and mighty? Okay, you're right about that. I might not have completely finished high school, but at least I was able to enroll myself at a technical college and still get an education. Well, going there still didn't improve how dumb you are. Basically, going to high school and a technical college is the same thing. It's not like it's a step up or anything. It's completely different, but what would you know, Destiny? But I guess me trying to explain it to you doesn't really matter now since you won't listen. You've got no right to say all these awful things to me, all right? You're the only one in our family that looks down on people that have a low educational background. It doesn't make sense, and you weren't brought up this way, so it's disappointing to hear you be so judgmental. I've been doing a lot for myself over the past 10 years now. Also, have you even been thinking about your future? What's going to happen to you if you don't have a job after graduating from college, huh? Well, that's one thing that I won't have to worry about so much. I was polishing myself up to be a fabulous woman, so it's all fine. Because in the end, I'm marrying a doctor. What I don't get right now is why you're so worried about me when I'm getting married and you're single and growing more gray hair and wrinkles by the day. Do you see any problems with me? Okay, literally me saying anything to you is going in one ear and out the other. Talking isn't really going to get us anywhere. Anyway, to your first point, I'm not jealous of you. I'll be celebrating your marriage sincerely, and I'm glad that everything's going really well for you. I truly hope that you'll be really happy. I'm looking forward to the wedding ceremony. Oh, really? Is that so? I can't believe you just said something like that so easily without letting your green-eyed monster loose. What I don't get is why an older single woman would come to my wedding ceremony. Whoa, just hold on a minute there, Destiny. What do you mean, why I'm coming to your wedding ceremony? Of course I'm coming, okay? I'm your sister, after all. Ah, okay, I see what you're trying to do here. You're just wanting to come to my wedding so that you can nab yourself a man and trap him in your boring life. Don't you think that's a little embarrassing, trying to attempt something like that? Why would you look for a man at the wedding of your sister who's 10 years younger than you? Whoa, you're going off on a completely different tangent here, Destiny. I don't mean that at all. I never said anything of the sort. I want to see you get married. Look, why don't you just stop tarnishing my reputation with your very wrong assumptions, okay? You really don't know how grateful you are, okay? What you need to learn to not do right now is thinking of only yourself. You should stop being so selfish and actually think about how your words affect people, especially me. You really need to have a good think of what you've said to me today. I am so hurt and disappointed that my own sister would turn around and say these things. You're going to regret what you've said eventually.
Hey, Kayla? I wanted to message you because I need to ask you for a favor. So, as you know, I've decided to get married to Destiny, and I'm trying to write my wedding speech. I was just wondering if you would be so kind as to help me write it? I know it's probably not something I should be asking my superior, but I could really use some assistance.
Hold on a minute. Are you actually asking me to help you out? I'm sorry, but I'm really confused as to why you're asking me this. Is this really the favor you're asking?
Yes, I am, Miss Kayla. I would really appreciate it if you'd help me out with this. It was all thanks to you that Destiny and I were able to meet and be together, after all.
Okay, well, first of all, there's no need to call me Miss or anything like that. It's just Kayla. You can stop with all that superior manners and such what. We're family now, okay? You did say earlier when we last spoke that you weren't going to call me by that name in front of Destiny, right? We don't need to mention the positions we're in.
Yes, I do know that. I just wanted to be polite, that's all. For the speech, I really wanted to include how grateful I am to be brought into your family. I would really like it if you were to write something down for me and how we've all come together as one. Would you be willing to take that on?
Oh, really? You want me to do that for you? You know that you don't have to be grateful for what we've done. I feel like that's a little bit of an exaggeration. The only thing I did was see all the potential that you had for the future of the clinic, and I wanted you to succeed in other parts of your life as well. Also, I think you had heard that my sister Destiny was single and wanted to get to know her, but to be honest with you, her and I have never really been that close. I feel like if you asked me to do this and I get up and say something at your wedding ceremony or reception, I think that Destiny will get angry with me.
Angry? Why do you think she'd get angry at you when I've asked you to do this and to show how much we all mean to each other? That just doesn't make sense to feel that way when you're both sisters. You're her older sister, Kayla, and you'll be there to say all these things about us and her. I'm sure that she'll be delighted to hear what you have to say. After all, that's what family's all about, right? Getting together on special occasions and telling each other how special you are to each other, right? So, Kayla, I think there's no need for you to worry about this. It'll be absolutely fine. I mean, it's natural for siblings to not get along all the time, right? I don't always get along with my younger brother either, but somehow we always push past our problems to come together and help each other out.
Well, I guess that's how it is in some families. But do you even know what Destiny thinks of me, Robert? Since we're 10 years apart in age, I don't really understand who she is.
Well, it's still obvious that you care about her, even if you have rough patches sometimes. I'd definitely be proud to have an older sister like you, Kayla. Maybe some of the reasons why she might be acting so hostile towards you is because she gets embarrassed easily and doesn't know how to express herself or bring up things.
Yeah, well, I hope that's the case, Robert, but sometimes there's more to it than what a lot of people see. A lot happens behind closed doors, unfortunately.
Yeah, I bet, but I'm only going to ask you this one favor, and I'm sure Destiny will be fine with it. Would you please do a speech at our wedding? It would be cool if you did.
Okay, I see you're twisting my arm a lot, so yes, I'll do it. I'll do what I can and try to think of some things to say. I might be nervous and a bit anxious, though, so bear with me.
You have made my day. Thank you so much, Kayla. I really do appreciate you doing this for me and Destiny. My father will be over the moon about this as well.
Okay, well, you better get back to sorting out everything for this wedding since it's happening very soon. There will be a lot of things to prepare for leading up to it. You better prepare yourself to do a lot of work, Robert, so just do your best with that. Good luck, and I'm sure I'll see you and your family at the wedding. Hey, so Robert told me what's supposed to be happening today. What did he mean that you're the one giving a speech at the wedding ceremony today, huh? He turned around and just blurted it out to me and just shouted surprise right in my face. But how is this a surprise? This doesn't make any sense. What kind of surprise is this? Because I think it's got to be the worst surprise on the planet. Why is he involving you? Why didn't you tell me this beforehand? Okay, please calm down, Destiny. I had no idea that this was actually going to be a surprise. I thought that he must have talked to you about this before since he mentioned it to me. I thought for sure that he was going to talk to you about this, and I thought that you would know beforehand. I only accepted his offer of doing his speech because he asked me. Well, as you know, I would normally refuse something like that, especially if you had anything to do with it. You do understand that you're just a low-educated old hag, right? If you understood that about you, then you wouldn't have accepted his offer of giving a speech. Did you really think that you were going to hide this information from me until the end of the day? I wasn't trying to do anything like that, Destiny. I thought that Robert would have told you that's what's happening. You don't have to be so mean about this when he just wanted to do something nice. If you really don't want this to happen today, you need to go and talk to Robert about it, not me. I don't mind if I do the speech or not. Either way is fine by me. Fine. If you're going to act this way towards me, then let's just have you do it. I shouldn't be fighting on my own special day, even though I have fun bringing you down. I'm sorry, what did you just say? I'm very confused as to what you want me to do. What exactly is fine by you? Are you actually wanting me to do the speech? Isn't that what I just said? God, you're so dumb sometimes. Yes, I want you to give a speech at the wedding ceremony today. But you've made me feel so bad about not knowing anything about this, so I'm going to make you understand by having you actually perform it. So be prepared. Look, I don't want you to have to make this decision when I should be the one deciding for myself. Don't worry about the speech. It's not really needed. I'll just stop. No, I think it's only fair for you to do this speech, since you're my older sister, after all. Please, give me a proper opening speech, even though you're not well educated. All I want is for this day to go off without a hitch, and I am going to make sure that you're not going to ruin this for me by bailing out. Also, don't embarrass me in front of my doctor-in-laws. Of course, I wouldn't do anything like that. I've got no reason to embarrass you, Destiny. But it seems like things are starting to get a little bit complicated. I want to do what is right and do this favor I was asked to do. I want to avoid any troublesome things as much as possible, but, anything can happen. You know what, Kayla? This serves you right. This only happened to you because you were being so pushy about wanting to do a speech. So how does it feel, huh? How does it feel to be made fun of at your younger sister's wedding? You should have just left this whole thing alone. You have taken things way too far now, Destiny. It is way too late to regret your actions now. After doing this, you'll never be able to turn back time. What the heck are you even talking about, you old hag? I'm not going to regret doing anything to you, Kayla. I didn't say anything wrong. You know, I should be the one that feels ashamed of coming from a family that has a low-educated background. It's so embarrassing that I've got to deal with you almost every day. Because of you being the way you are, there is no way that you're going to be in a relationship. It looks like you won't catch any men today, but that's none of my business, yeah. Well, that's not the purpose as to why I'm at this wedding, so it shouldn't even be on your mind right now, Destiny. The only person I should be embarrassed about is my sister, not myself. What on earth did you just say to me? What is that supposed to mean? Why are you saying that I'm the one embarrassing you? I am way more successful. Yeah, I understand how you feel. It's a shame that I had to say that to you. What I'm trying to say is that it's a shame to be related to a sister like you. You've always looked down on me since we were kids, and it hurt me so much. I felt so embarrassed to hear that you were just merely joking when you were introducing me. How could you introduce me to people as the older sister who is way less educated? Who seriously does something like that? Don't you think before you speak? I feel so ashamed of your morals in those moments as you were making such unreasonable remarks in the situation. Don't you know how to be nice to others? Excuse me? Since when did anyone give you the right to talk to me in this way? Don't take it out on me just because you live a miserable, lonely life. I guess you're still not sure what I'm actually trying to get at, are you? Because of your actions, Destiny, your in-laws lost all color from their cheeks. Didn't you notice that? I don't even know what you're talking about right now. Why are you talking about my in-laws for? Are you being embarrassed of me because I'm being honest about you? Are you seriously kidding me with this crap? How did you not notice how their body language or how I was feeling? Ugh, I've really had enough of this. Well, there's no need to get so over the top and angry about it. All I'm stating are the facts, Kayla. Are you seriously that mad that I introduced you as the miserable sister at the wedding? All I was saying is that you're my older and less attractive sister who didn't really get a good education and is kind of slow. What's so wrong about telling the truth? Did you even look at people's reactions when you said all that in front of everybody? Your in-laws were almost begging you to stop and had their faces in their hands. Huh? What do you mean they had their heads in their hands? What on earth are you even talking about, Kayla? I was just speaking from the heart. Yeah, and you doing that only causes trouble and makes me feel so embarrassed to be there because what you say about me isn't even true. They started getting on the ground in front of me, apologizing for what you said about me, and I couldn't believe what was happening right in front of my eyes. Your stupid words and actions have caused this to happen, and you said it all in front of all the relatives. Both Robert and his father are both good and honest people. To be honest, it was a huge mistake for me to introduce you because in reality, you're such a loser and don't deserve to be with someone as lovely as Robert and his family of doctors. You know, Mom was so worried about your future because of the way you used to act towards people, and she hoped when you grew up that you would change your ways. But no, of course not. I was too blind to see the actual real side of you because everyone was denying that you aren't horrible when in fact you are. What the heck do you mean that my in-laws were on their knees in front of you? You're not actually talking about Robert's family, are you? Are you saying they apologized to you? Well, there was no other family that Robert has that was in that room, Destiny. Are you seriously that dumb that you didn't realize them doing that? I am not dumb, and you know that. No, you need to tell me what on earth's going on right now. I'm just trying to straighten this out, okay? Why is Robert apologizing to you? It's none of his business as to what I actually say about you. He doesn't know our relationship, and he shouldn't be apologizing on my behalf at all. Well, it is in fact his business, since you're the ones who have gotten married today, okay? He was planning to apply for a loan very soon and didn't want to screw things up. Wait a minute, what did you just say? What does Robert have to do with this? What financing are you even talking about? What loan? You need to explain things to me right now. What the heck is going on around here to make everyone feel bad for you and apologize to you up front? You're an absolute nobody, so why does this matter? Yeah, you know how you used to look down on me because I was older than you and I didn't get the best education compared to you? Well, you shouldn't be like that anymore. In fact, how about I tell you a little bit about myself that you probably didn't know or even care to hear about? I'm actually a famous female CEO and investor. I'm sorry, what the heck did you just say? Are you telling me that you actually somehow got some good job and are in an executive level position? You've not even bothered to listen to me or even to our own mother up until now, so no wonder you've not heard about what I'm doing with my life. It's natural that you don't know. I've been investing quite a bit of money into the medical field for the past few years to help improve the health system in this country. That's how I found out about Robert's family clinic. We've been in touch with each other for a while now about how much they need so that they can fulfill their duties in society. Recently, a $10 million loan was agreed upon. The reason that your wedding was even happening was all thanks to me because of the deal I'm making with Robert and his family. You probably didn't know anything. What the heck? Are you being serious right now? Is this actually true? Is the reason that I was able to meet Robert, get to know him, and marry him because of this financial deal? And that $10 million that you just mentioned before, that's gotta be a made-up number, right? That's a joke, yes? How is it that you have this insane amount of money to throw around? Well, it all goes back to you not listening at all about what I do and who I am. You looked down on my academic background since I didn't finish high school or go to college. Then you thought it would be funny to just boast about how you graduated from some big hotshot private university that's apparently famous for some stupid reason. Do you even know how people get into those famous and private universities, Destiny? It's all because the families that send their children there have a ton of money. Did you forget that I was the one who paid for all those fees that were piling up when you started? The entrance fees and the tuition fees on classes you hardly went to? Well, it's obvious that you're not the type of person to be grateful for their sister doing something like that, so you shoved that knowledge under the rug, didn't you? I think if you were actually grateful about things, maybe you wouldn't be such a crappy person, and then I might actually like you as a sibling, Destiny. How can you behave like this to someone who literally financed your way through college, huh? I got you through, not our parents. I'm so surprised at how you treat me sometimes. Whoa, just hold on a minute, all right? So you were the one that really had all the money this entire time and hardly mentioned anything about it? This is all true? Of course it's true. That's why I'm telling you now and repeating everything I've done for you, even though you don't care at all. All I was a bank to you and nothing else. You know how I barely just finished high school? Well, it was so that I could fast-track myself into a job that I was going to earn a lot of money for this family. After I left school, I joined a venture company. I got trained a lot and started to learn all the know-hows and become more independent when it came to earning money. I've been the president of my company for over 10 years now, and I plan on doing that for a long time. I'm more than likely one of the most successful lady CEOs in the United States. But you know how you always kept going on and on about how we're 10 years apart in age? Well, you should have seen it as a blessing. By the time I was your age, I was already starting my own business. I may be older, but I learned fast and got where I wanted to be at a young age. Not many people can say that. So after me explaining all of this to you in the most simplest way possible for you to understand, don't you think you're the one who should be embarrassed by what you said about me? I don't know about that one, because to be honest, I had no idea that this has been what you've been doing after high school. I thought that you were just surviving day to day. How was I to know who you were back then, since I was so young and naive? You know that kids say stupid things sometimes, right? I was only a high school student. Well, yes, you were only a high school student and you had school to worry about, but it doesn't mean that you couldn't change the way you thought about me, though. You could have been the one to acknowledge me, get to know me, but instead you turned around and said horrible things about me. You obviously haven't learned to grow up. Things are different now, Destiny, and you should know that. You're 26 years old now, and you still don't understand the situation, so that's on you for not asking. All you do is just complain about where you come from and how apparently I haven't done anything with my life. Why didn't you just talk to me like a normal sibling? Instead, you just assumed things like the horrible person you are. You thought that you were free to make derogatory comments about me, but you're not, Destiny. You know, calling me out in front of your new family about how old and wrinkly I am and how I'm not educated is just embarrassing. To say something like that, you're not good at reading the room, are you, Destiny? In that situation, you ruined everything and your whole world's going to come crashing down. But this is totally unfair, though. I'm not the one entirely to blame for this. How was I not to know about you and what you were doing? I was only young, and I still am. You are, but you're an adult, and you should think before you speak in front of people. And maybe next time, just be upfront with me about my life. I would have happily told you. Ugh, you make me feel so drained and tired because no matter what I say to you, little sister, you never learn from the mistakes you've made and the things you've said. I don't want to have anything to do with you anymore. You just caused me a lot of pain in my life, and I don't need that crap, especially from a sibling. Not that you're my sister anymore or anything. Hey, what? Just wait a minute, okay? You can't just make that sort of decision without considering how any of us will feel about it, okay? You can't just cut me off. Just because we're connected by blood, it doesn't mean I want you in my life, especially after the way you've treated me. I deserve better. Are you really going to keep complaining like a child forever? I really can't deal with you anymore, Destiny. You can do whatever you want with your life now, since you don't need me. I also told Mom that I wouldn't be taking care of you in any way anymore. She's so disappointed in how you've acted towards me. It's a shame it has to end this way. No, wait, you can't do this. I had no idea that you financially supported me. Look, I'm sorry for saying those things about you. It was all a joke. I know that it was mean and hurtful, and I regret what I said, and I take it back. Please don't cut me off. You're the only sister I've got. Please don't leave me like this. Kayla, I need you. The in-laws have been looking at me funny, and Robert is disgusted with me. I need your help. Tell them it was all just a joke between sisters. There is no way I'll ever help you with anything ever again, Destiny. How about you actually try and solve the problems that you've caused all on your own, yeah? After being abandoned by everyone, maybe you can finally become more independent and actually earn your own money and that sort of thing, okay? Don't you try to contact me again about money, about relationships, about anything. I'm here trying to be happy with what I've got, and you're ruining it for me. With that, I'll say goodbye now. Good luck. No, wait. You can't say goodbye to me. I'm your little sister, remember? You can't just cut me out of your life. That's not fair when I didn't know anything about you. Please come back, Kayla. Please tell me that I didn't screw up that deal with Robert's family. I'm really sorry for what I said, and you've been such a good sister to me. I am begging you, please don't leave me on my own. In the end, Kayla decided to keep the deal with Robert and his family on the expansion of their medical clinic. The loan contract of $10 million was set in stone. After that, Robert thought it would be best to call off the marriage because of how rude Destiny was being towards her older sister. Destiny left home and got a job. Kayla heard from her parents that she was working on the premises that she was living in. She must be doing something in house caring or something. With all of this happening to Destiny and Kayla cutting her off from having a relationship with her, it seems to have helped the younger sister become more independent and to do good things on her own without any help from her family. Everyone agrees that this is a good thing. For the time being, Kayla has no plans to reconnect with her younger sister, Destiny, in the near future after she was treated by her so poorly. Her sister being mean to her helped her improve her situation, and she took that to her advantage. At least now, Kayla and her parents have less stress in their lives to worry about. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to see more content like this.